Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's sweet.
Turtle time.
Well, Ryan Gosling got so lonely on the set of Project Hail Mary that the two directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, created a mop called Moppy Ringwald to keep him company. They're lucky that in space, no one can hear you laugh. And that's just one of the many funny anecdotes about working on the set of Project Hail Mary. Let's hope that same humorous, behind-the-scenes energy translates to the actual movie when Project Hail Mary is released today in theaters.
I
Amy,
have my
are you
tickets.
Really? When? Oh, God, I don't even need to ask. When are you going?
Next Tuesday in 4DX.
4DX? Holy shit. Oh, my God. Thank God you said something after I said something, because we have Project Hail Mary fever in my house. I can't even imagine seeing it in 4DX.
You're welcome to join if you want to get shook up. I honestly, I'm going because a group is going. I wouldn't say that this movie fills my 4DX criteria in the sense that I usually only see movies that are like dumb as shit
Oh, yeah.
in 4DX
Okay.
that I'm like, I don't care what they're saying or what's going on. Whereas this movie, I think I might just actually enjoy.
Right.
So I'm a little bit concerned that being shaken the entire time will skew my experience. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go.
Yeah, they'll probably be tasteful. You better hope it's not like, goodbye, Moppy Ringwald, I have to let you out of the chute, and he's crying or whatever, and then your chair's just going like, just shaking for no reason. That would be so shitty. But I bet it'll be tasteful. Don't you think? Quite possibly it will be.
We'll see. I'll let you know. I think the last 4DX I did was Twisters, but it was my second time seeing Twisters, so it was like I had already seen it.
Yeah, I mean, and we've already talked about, I couldn't even imagine, like, that is a movie so dedicated to 4DX. Like, because
I was
basically,
twisting.
I mean, if you're seeing a twister on screen and you're starting to get closer to it, the 4DX people, it kind of writes itself. They're just like, well, what do you think we're going to do here, Brainiac? Spin the chairs around. You know what I mean? Whereas Project
like
Hail Mary,
smoke, mist.
yeah, and then Project Hail Mary, it'll probably be just like floating and then jostling.
Definitely. There's
Well,
definitely going to be some crash action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
I don't remember. It might have been one of the Fast and the Furious movies where there was like a sexy car wash and they squirted you.
That is so cool.
And I was like, I feel like I'm there with these bikini babes.
That is so awesome. Huh, man. Well, all right. Well, you're going to be seeing this in 4DX, so you got to let us know, as all Turtle Time listeners, how it was and what the experience was like. They're betting a lot on this. Original film, what all this stuff that they say.
High budget.
It's high budget, original, no IP, starring one person or whatever they say. And they said no AI or CGI or some, maybe there's CGI, but they said something like no green screen. There was some sort of press stuff that was coming out about this, like really about the like integrity of the production. So that'll be interesting to see how that translates. I hope it's a big smash.
I know. I'm a little scared. I don't know what the predictions are. We'll see if Gosling still got it.
Yeah, this is a huge test because Fall Guy fell like a stone at the box office, if I remember correctly. So this is one last at bat for Ryan Gosling. I think he can bring it, but also I like Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Most of their stuff.
Lord and Miller.
Lego
Movie, Spider-Verse.
Lego Movie, Spider-Verse famously fired off Solo because they were too fun. I don't know who was saying, but they were like, these two boys are too fun. They're laughing too much during Star Wars. And so they were fired unceremoniously. And then Ron Howard, who's a famously stick in the mud director, boring as hell, he was like, let's get back to work, everyone. I know that there was a lot of improv humor earlier on set, but it's time to, get our shit together. So they were fired. But
21 Jump Street, did they do 22 also?
Yes. I mean, you've got the filmography down. Yes, it's all of these wonderful hits.
I could go on and on.
They have a really funny sensibility. It didn't gel well, I guess, with Star Wars, which is famously just a really shitty working environment. But But then they've really stuck a finger in the eye of Lucasfilm or whoever owns Star Wars now, Disney, because they're like, look at us, we're just as successful, if not more. We're leading a tentpole franchise by Andy Weir, the guy who wrote The Martian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well.
so a lot is riding on them, but if I'm using my metrics for success, they've already succeeded well beyond my wildest dreams. I thought they were dead on the side of the road after Solo being fired. That's not something you want on your resume, but they've blossomed since. And then remember, Into the Spider-Verse ended up getting some sort of Oscar, whereas Solo was derided.
Yeah, I saw that first Spider-Verse, and I was like, this is good.
Me too. I said that same thing. I was saying that over and over again. And I like they subverted the story for me. Spoiler alert for Into the Spider-Verse, but everyone will remember the uncle in Spider-Man is wonderful. Uncle Ben, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Unc.
Yeah, he's a decent to good uncle. And then in the Spider-Verse, his uncle is actually the main antagonist. You think that that's going to be his wonderful relationship with his uncle. Turns out he's the villain. So it really subverted someone who knows the mythology of Spider-Man. You're kind of thinking a little deeper about it when you think about it like that.
Yeah. Remember in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, he gets his uncle Loki killed because he does that shitty wrestling match, and Unc Ben gets shot outside.
Totally. And it
it's
was
so
because
sad.
yeah, he let that guy go.
Right.
He
to
let
get back at Bruce Campbell, who is Bruce Campbell's in that scene somewhere, I think, but
Yeah, so it's not Bruce Campbell. I think it's someone else. Some horrible, not good business person is like, I'm giving you $2 or whatever, and he's like, oh, you took advantage of me, and then so he lets the burglar run away. Then, okay, Uncle Ben dies because of that same burglar, which was horrible. But famously, that guy was horrible on set. That Uncle Ben actor.
Oh no, he was kind of like a legend, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a legend, but he's one of the biggest pieces of shit in Hollywood.
I love how
they
you have everyone's number.
I know it, and I'll say it for the rest of my life. Whenever I know somebody's a piece of shit, he was terrible. He kept saying, I should be Spider-Man. He goes, if I was just a few years younger, I'd be the lead in this, kid. And he was really, really being disrespectful to Tobey Maguire, who was like in the face of a legend. He's like, I'm with Jimmy Jordan, or what's Uncle Ben? Uncle Ben in original.
Cliff Robertson.
He's like, I'm with Cliff Roberts. Cliff, do you have any advice for a young up-and-coming star? He's like, I should have been Spider-Man, kid. If I was just 10 years younger, I'd be getting the lead role. God, he was just, apparently he's horrible. Aunt May hated him too. So they wrote him off. He was supposed to die as Uncle Ben, but they wanted him dead even quicker. So they sped up the production. But then in 3, Sam Raimi does the biggest twist of all twists. He goes, remember that blonde-haired guy that killed Uncle Ben? Well, it wasn't him, actually. It was, who's the big buff guy?
Oh, yeah. Like
Sandman.
Eddie Brock or whatever.
Sandman, who was played by the guy from Sideways. Thomas
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Hayden.
Eddie Brock is Venom.
Yeah, Eddie Brock is Venom. But remember when we all had Thomas Hayden Church fever right after Sideways? They go... They have a scene. Sorry to keep talking about this, but they have a scene where he goes, blonde guy, burglar, you're not going to kill Uncle Ben. I need to do it. And so then it was kind of a, what's that called when they rewrote
Retcon?
it? Yeah, they retconned it completely. So I'll never forget that. But
insane.
Yeah, but Spider-Man speaking of, speaking of films, did you see the brand new day trailer, Spider-Man 4 with Tom
I didn't
Holland?
watch it.
Oh,
I saw him sitting there upside down or whatever, and I was like, I'm good.
You're going to like this one.
I don't fuck with those.
Oh, shit. Oh, I get it, and I can't make a case for them, but if you got a spider tingle like me, him being upside down crying like that, it was like reminiscent of Spider-Man 3 when Peter Parker has that emo phase or whatever. It's kind of sweet. But no, I can't sell you on it, but I was just saying, I think that Spider-Man is so in the zeitgeist right now because of that trailer, and that's why we spent a lot of time talking about it. Next up on the news is this is a big deal. Real Housewives of Miami got a big, horrible update on TMZ. Let's say it. They're putting Miami on pause.
It's such a fraught franchise. It's always struggled since day one.
Yeah. They canceled it unceremoniously after season 3, even though when you watch those 3 seasons, I think it's fun as hell. But for some reason, do you think people are just averse to Miami properties?
It's
Like,
weird. I don't really get it.
Like Miami Vice, they people love being in Miami like that, or like in any like Miami is not the death knell for ratings like you'd think. So something about the franchise, I think it has low ratings. And then I think that the cast members are getting enough salary bumps now because it's getting to season 7 that they can't justify it. So they need to do some, they need to do some budgetary calculations to be like, is it worth having Alexia, who's now being paid like a 7th season cast member, but they're not yielding the benefits of a golden franchise? You know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of stuff is possibly going on.
Sure. By the way, when you said Miami Vice, it reminded me that I saw a tweet, unsubstantiated tweet earlier that it said Tom Cruise eyed to play the villain in Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice.
Oh,
can you imagine?
No, I can't even imagine. And all I'm thinking about is him in Collateral when he plays one of the best villains of all time. He's so good at being a villain, but he doesn't like to subvert our image of Tom Cruise at all. But I think he could take another stab at that. Could you imagine?
Jamie Foxx, Collateral, also in Miami Vice. Michael Mann's Miami Vice.
So maybe Tom Cruise really he was thinking about Jamie Foxx after just playing with him in Collateral, and he was like, wait, that Miami Vice was pretty good. I hope I can get my hands on that property someday. That's huge. And he likes Joseph Krasinski. It's more substantiated because he's like, I trust this person. Top Gun Maverick. Right.
He's hot off of that F1 Best Sound Vroom Vroom Oscar.
Krasinski was happy to get that. And the sound was from the little squeaks and sputters I heard, it did have good sound coming out of those cars. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about when we were doing our Oscars recap, and I forgot to say, is I was so proud of Guillermo del Toro and his technical awards.
Cutie of the century.
He was so cute up there. He was blushing, all bashful. He's like, makeup? Who, me for Frankenstein? And he won like 3. And if anybody, like some people would be like, technical awards, shove it up your ass. But he is such a he loves technical awards. So I was like, give him all of them. He likes this stuff. Makeup, costume. I think there was one other one. Production design. It's like he earned it. So, and he was just so sweet up there. He goes, oh, geez, thanks, Academy.
I adore him. And it seems like Jacob Elordi is the sweetheart of the century too. Like the makeup people were shouting his praises because what did they say? They said he was in the chair for like 500 hours or something because it was like 10 hours a day. They said when they did his like the full body days, he had to stand there in like a T position for hours and hours. Like he wasn't just in a chair. They had to paint his full body. And they seemed to love him. He like got out of his chair. Yeah. He was celebrating them so hard. And I was like, okay, everybody, it's a love fest over here.
It's so cute. I just I love that they honored Frankenstein, and I love when Jacob Elordi picked Guillermo del Toro up and started swinging him around in circles. I thought that was so
sweetie pies. Oh my God! Speaking of Mary Shelley, I saw The Bride yesterday.
Really? How was it?
I don't even know what to say.
Really? I mean, I knew. I mean, I knew what people were saying, where I would fall on that spectrum. I knew where I would stand, but
Mary Shelley is in the movie herself.
Really?
She's like cackling and she's like, I'm ready to make a sequel.
No way. Mary Shelley's. I thought she was going to say, look what I have wrought and be scared or something.
She like haunts the mind of this girl who I can only describe it as she has like split personalities. And one of the personalities is the fictional character of Frankenstein's Bride.
Oh my God. Holy
I can
shit.
say it confidently at no point did I know what was coming next. So that's something. They do a Puttin' on the Ritz dance number, just like in Young Frankenstein.
Oh my God.
The end credits music is the Monster Mash.
No way. Oh my God. So was it ironically bad enough to bring you joy, or was it just a full-blown flop in your mind and not worth
I mean,
revisiting.
I was checking my watch.
Okay.
I'm worried about Maggie Gyllenhaal's mental health. It was very like feminism for, I don't know, tweens. They do utter the words "me too."
Really?
The bride in the movie becomes a feminist icon, very undeservedly. It's wild.
So it has commentary on sort of contemporary, political issues.
Yeah, it's like I don't really even get what the message is because I thought it was going to be something. I was honestly a little bit interested based on the way Maggie Gyllenhaal talked about it, about how, like, in the original Bride of Frankenstein movie, she's only in it for 5 minutes and how, like, she doesn't have any autonomy and all this stuff. And I was like, there's something interesting here. Like, I get why she's interested in this IP or whatever. And then what it became, and like Penelope Cruz plays like a detective with Peter Sarsgaard. Skarsgård. Oh my god, I always get SARS and scars mixed up.
Oh yeah, I think.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it makes no fucking sense. It's fucking batshit insane. It's literally insane.
You stop me dead in my tracks if I'm wrong about this, but it kind of makes me sad that like our no IP, creative like freedom and this is what we need to bring back sound like fucking shitty Marvel movies. Like that sounds like Harley Quinn and Batman running or Joker
very
running
Harley
around.
Quinn-esque.
Yeah, and it's like, and then no offense, but like one battle after another and stuff is kind of like a cartoonish Marvel movie too. And I'm just like, wow, like yeah, let's try to get away from this.
Sinners was Marvel-y too.
I know, yeah, I wasn't even gonna say it. It's just like, wow, yeah, we got great new IP now, vampires, Bride of Frankenstein. Like, thank God we don't have Marvel and DC in our lives. Let's go see The Bride. Like, I'm just like, it's. You know what I mean? We're still far from the beautiful movies
One
that
could
we
say
pine
Marvel
for.
ruined everything.
Yeah. I almost am now more like, God damn, now we're doing Marvel light, but we're so happy about it because it's not Marvel. We're like, get that Marvel crap out of here. I want to see Colonel Lockjaw, who's not at all like Thanos in any way. He's really nuanced. It's like, it's kind of sad to me. Like, that's why when I was watching Sentimental Value, I was like, what the fuck are these other films? This is what the Oscars used to be rewarding. Like, we used to be like, is Stellan Skarsgård? Wait. Like, Stellan's over here, and he's like, not crying, but he's like writing scripts that are about his family, and he's smoking cigarettes, and you don't know what the hell he's thinking. And it's so much more adult than some of the garbage that we're being forced to watch now. So should I stop dead in my tracks and edit this out, or is there some value to this?
There is sentimental value. I also enjoyed that he gets a Netflix zinger in that movie when they're like, he does a whole streaming rant during sentimental value, and I'm like, hell yeah, Yoakum.
Oh, that
Joaquin
was great.
Yoakum, I should learn.
Great job, Yoakum. He did a great job.
Did you see he's a former skater? Did I send you that?
Wait, skateboarder?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's like a punk skater. He's like hot and cool.
He's so fucking cool. I was like, even though there was 20 or 30% of that movie that I didn't really care for, like the Elle Fanning stuff, I was still like, this at least is like. Good. No, I thought she was good too, but I didn't like that needed to be a part of the plot. It was so much more about his family dynamics, and that felt like a little bit of a diversion. She's still great in it. But still, I was just like, oh man, we used to watch movies like this. Like, like kind of more in line with stuff like that. And now we're really like, oh, Sinners.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank God we're watching an original vampire movie. It's like, okay, well, I liked it too. I thought it was wonderful, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And then they're going to be on YouTube.
What are the awards?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we got a few more years left of dissecting pop culture, and then we'll see what happens. But that leads me to what we were talking about originally about Real Housewives of Miami, because
people just can't take it. It's too real.
Yeah, it's too real. I mean, I don't know what to do. I think you and I felt like we recapped it for the first time this season. We gave it its due. We said it
Yeah.
was a 7 out of 10. We said when it was shitty. We said what we would do to remedy it. We said when it was great. And I think that people need to put their money where their mouth is. If you think Miami is one of the best franchises and you're mad that Beverly Hills and OC get to keep going on their runs, then you got to celebrate Miami and watch it and tune in.
Yeah.
So I'm sad because there are true icons over there. Like people who have brought me more joy than almost any other housewife in history on Miami. So I feel bad that they're in this purgatory. But I was saying, and I think you'd agree, you could probably put Alexia on pause. No offense. Julia,
Mhm.
pause/fire for the rest of her life. Gertie, put her on pause 1 season. See what happens. Hire 2 new people. Now the Alexia budget is slashed in half. Use that to pay 3 other people.
Yeah.
Julia and Gertie are gone. They were probably making a significant amount of money. And hire 2 or 3 new people. Test them amongst the other cast members that are wonderful. You still have Marisol for that OG legacy act.
Mhm.
And then go forward and see what happens. There's just too many great cast members that you cannot reboot this franchise. That would be the worst decision Bravo could ever make. Another
Right.
reboot in Miami. Could you
I
imagine?
think I saw that Marisol was in DC with. Did you see all the ladies that were in DC
Yeah.
yesterday or this
I
week?
did.
Yeah, I think Marisol was one of them. And Melissa Gorga, Erica Jane, Luann, Nene, Phaedra. I was like, you go, girls.
That was so cool. Yeah, I saw that in passing, and I really thought I loved the idea of it.
I think they were gunning for more funding for like HIV research and stuff. And everybody looked great. Love my ladies.
They looked awesome. They looked so cool. I'm gonna look into that a little more right after we get done recording. Amy, what other news were we kind of bouncing around at the right before? Do you remember? It was like Miami, and then we were like, oh, there's so much great news. Project Hail Mary, Spider-Man, The Bride, and then I forgot there was a couple other.
I mean, we saw, speaking of Luann, the ladies of the Golden Life posted that they were filming on, it looked like the same yacht where Luann had her engagement party, if you recall. And it was Ramona, Kelly, Luann, Dorinda, Sonia. They're all doing like the cha-cha or something on the boat. And honestly, I was a little bit like, okay, this looks kind of fun. But all the comments were like, get Kelly out of here. No one wanted her.
Yeah, that's, of course, a sentiment I share as well. Of course not. But it was a compelling image to see those 4 dancing, doing the cha-cha on a yacht. I mean, even if Kelly's in the background, I can just be like,
Yeah.
if when she was
disregard.
spinning around, disregard. But like, it's like, whoa, holy shit. Dorinda really was the missing element, because when it was Kelly and Jill Zarin, I was like, 2 duds and 3, OGs. That's not the best balance. But now with Dorinda, it really hits home that you've got some powerful people over there. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm not ready, but it was provocative. It made me think, like, what's going on the Golden Life over there.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. I just saw a TikTok of someone's cameo from Sonia, and it was actually like the best cameo I've ever seen, where I'm like, I'm never getting a cameo again unless it's from Sonia. It was so long. The girl, I guess, had gone through a breakup, and so Sonia was giving her advice, and she was like, you've been through it all with me. You've seen, she's like the husband, the townhouse, and she's going on about Tom and Harry, and she's like, Harry just called me. I didn't return the call. She's like, oh, I just saw Tom in Palm Beach. Da, 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 da. She's just like going on and on and on. I was like, literally, I could just watch her talk for hours on end. It was just so entertaining. And so I'm like, I do miss her, but I'm a little afraid. I think our most recent reference point was like Crappy Lake, and it just kind of, with Sonia, it can spiral out a little bit.
Totally.
So we'll see if they keep her focused.
Yes, totally keep her focused. But there were some wonderful moments in Crappy Lake, if I remember. Sonia was bleeding all over the carpets, and they were like, "How are we going to get the blood out of our room and stuff?" But no, you're right. We got a cameo for my mom and my stepmom. We got a Sonia Morgan cameo, and it
Nice.
hit really hard. I forget some of the stuff she was doing, but it was kind of like that meme where she has the glasses
Right.
down, and she was doing it in her bed with her covers tucked over to her chin, and she was saying a lot of fun stuff for maybe 3 or 4 full minutes.
I bet like just with our friend group combined, we cover over a dozen talent. We did get my friend for this most recent Mexico trip. We got a Shep one, and I'll just let you guys know that he does not know how to say Oaxaca, despite claiming to be a world traveler. He said he like pronounced the X. He was like Waxcock, and I'm like, okay, I thought you were supposed to be the Ernest Hemingway of Southern Charm, but go off.
Shep, even I would just not say it. Even I wouldn't throw that X in there. Oh my God, Shep! I just wouldn't say it because I don't know how to pronounce it either. Wow. Well, was it a good cameo for
Yeah.
people who want Sheps in the future?
And it got there was a little Craig cameo at the end as well. Like,
Oh,
he was like, somebody else wants to say hello.
that's huge when you get a little pop in like that.
Yeah.
Well, great. All right. Well. Glad to know that. Oh yeah. Golden Life. Glad to get that preview of those people dancing on the yacht. And last on the news docket, I know this hit your radar like the mail person throwing a newspaper at your door. Extra, extra. Martha Stewart films cameo in Real Housewives of New York, new season. What did you think when you saw this?
I'm surprised kind of that she would do it. I guess that must mean she likes this person that she knows.
Daisy Toy.
Yeah.
Daisy Toy, I think, is the personal assistant / I forget. We already talked about what Daisy Toy was, but I forget. But yeah, no, that must be a strong connection. And this, again, when people were like, Martha Stewart is poking her head and thinking about being cast. Now I get where the rumor mill got jammed up. They
Right.
meant this.
Right.
Daisy Toy and Martha. And you know me and Martha Stewart. A cameo from her will be really fun. Like, Martha,
Yeah.
do you mind if I go get that yogurt you wanted? And Martha Stewart would be like, yes, please get it and bring it back to me. And then it's like, holy shit, what a great introduction to what Daisy Toy is doing. Like, she's that close to Martha Stewart. So what did it make you think when you saw that?
Love Martha. I hope she's a raging bitch. That's what I want from her. Maybe she'll be on Watch What Happens. I have a feeling it'll be disappointing though. Probably quite small.
I thought so too. Like Martha, is that you peeking behind the door? And she's like, yes, but I don't want to be on camera. It's probably a small cameo.
Yeah.
I love Martha Stewart, but I still can't get over that roast with Snoop Dogg and Justin Bieber. I'll
about
never.
it?
I'll never forget it. I thought it was terrible. I thought the jokes were in so ill. It's such ill taste, and so hopefully maybe her cameo will be accounting for doing a bunch of those Comedy Central roasts. I thought those were just awful. But Amy, enough about that. I don't want to get on my high horse about those Comedy Central roasts, but I think you and I should now transition to Southern Charm season
Yes.
11 reunion part 1. This thing was fun as hell, and I think it's going to be only a 2-parter.
Really?
Yeah, I saw on the press page of the screener section, they said a rare 2-parter from Southern Charm, I think.
Wow.
They said. Yeah,
Interesting. Well, that's why they had to cut to the chase and just shit all over Craig immediately.
they were cutting to the chase on this one. They got into it immediately. So I thought this reunion was great. We'll get right into it, just like they did. Austin he arrives in New York City. He goes, New York City. He goes, I love it here. And he goes, the 3 things that every American can count on: death, taxes, and the Southern Charm reunion. And then he gives a huge peace sign or whatever, and he goes right in, and I said, what a way to start. Like, that was so cool. And around tax season too.
That's true. I'm thinking all about that. I do kind of love that basically all Bravo celebrities, sometimes Andy travels for the reunions. For the most part, they do them in New York. And so I love that all Bravo celebrities just have this relationship to New York where like there's always on the show for all future and history, they always go like in New York, or like when we were in New York, either for Watch What Happens or for a reunion, like they all have this, they go to New York all the time for work.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get to say, when we were all in New York together, and you're like, that's code for when you all were at the reunion. The only ones he flies out for Vanderpump Rules, Beverly Hills, the OC, even
Right.
Salt Lake City, I think, has to fly to New York City. I definitely sense that they have to fly. Miami, I think, had to go to New York City. So unless you're full West Coast, that's the
He's
only
like,
thing Andy will travel
he's
for.
probably like, I need to take meetings in LA anyways. Like, let's just do LA. But yeah. So also Austin gets a dig in quickly where he goes, my coffee order is chef's ass, and Rod is like, strawberry shortcake, and he goes, flat white.
I was laughing. I go, how is this coffee going to be like chef's ass? A strawberry foam? And he goes, no, a flat white. At first I thought he said, this coffee tastes like ass. And I was like, damn, you're going to do Starbucks like that? Like say it tastes like ass? Like they're going to be so pissed. I knew it was the green logo of Starbucks, but he goes, no, it's like chef's ass, a flat white, and I love coffee humor. Flat white is kind of a new, we're still getting acclimated to that being on the menu. Don't you think?
Oh my God. The other day, Starbucks, sorry, I try not to go there as much. Today I went to my local donut shop. I've been trying to go to more, support local, but on Monday they had a Starbucks ad, they have like Modifier Monday where you get like a free mod.
Oh my, I love Modifier Mondays at Starbucks.
And I was like, sure, why the fuck not? And so I saw that they had protein foam.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I'm always trying to get my protein. And so I added it. And first of all, it was fucking gross. Second of all, I realized I think it was like 400 calories. I like threw it away. I was like, I can't drink this.
Well, at least that modifier was free. What if Austin was like, this is just like chef's ass, full of protein? You know what I mean? One thing to say, I love that you supported Donut Shop Monday. I know that coffee probably tastes really good, and I'm proud of you. I gotta say, though, my local coffee shop is about to price me off the block.
No.
I go to Jones, and I don't want to get too personal, but I order a coffee that's not that extravagant. It has one modifier, quite possibly a modifier and a half, and they're charging me about $7.40, where I'm going, I almost did the thing where I'm like, do you mind checking that again? But then I looked up at the thing and it's like $6.50 plus $1 amount. Like, you're gonna make me go to Starbucks, and I can't stand the taste of Starbucks. But I'm seriously,
it's barely cheaper, by the way.
I know, and I know that this is like privilege talk. I'm like, I'm not gonna get my $7 coffee anymore, but like, I really think I'm stretching the limits. Like,
yeah,
and I don't want to go to Starbucks, like I said.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe I got to go to find my local donut shop. It's going to charge me a little bit less. But like I said, don't get me started on coffee prices these days, because I won't stop
Don't get me
talking.
started on the price of gas either. We're fucked.
Amy, we said we wouldn't go into it. The price of gas. Oh my God. And then this was a funny edit just for the screener heads, I think, like you and I. Craig goes, I'm wearing monster shoes. And he goes, God, I hope I wanted to put little thumbtacks near my toes. So anytime he was like pulling a full blown Angels and Demons. He was like, or what's the first one? Da Vinci Code. He was like, I want to put my little toes into a bunch of tacks so that I scream bloody murder whenever I get reactive. And they go, and then the sound effect goes, also all the audio.
I wish we had the Wilhelm scream button right now.
All the audio was mixed really low on the screener. It was really quiet. And then all of a sudden they do a full Frankenstein scream or something. And they show Craig's big clompers as if he has hidden thumbtacks in there.
That was a psychotic thing to say. He was basically like, I need to hurt to feel like it helps me. He was like, I want to stab my feet with thumbtacks during the reunion. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, he's like R. Crumb's brother in Crumb. Did you ever see that movie? He
Not
was sleeping.
Crumb.
He he was like sleeping on thumbtacks or something. But anyway, that horror edit, I don't know if that made it to the final broadcast. It was a blood-curdling scream that was louder than anything Southern Charm has ever done in the past. Andy goes, Sally, you certainly don't look like you slept in a chicken coop last night. She goes, thank you, Andy. Yeah, I don't miss my chickens at all. I'm glad they flew the coop. So
Yeah.
she's over it. Chicken era has ended, like they said.
Yeah. Madison also says she's back at fighting weight, looking hot. I just saw a TikTok the other day where she said that people were commenting that she looked like Kelly Osbourne. And she was like, I know that you're trying to say that's an insult, but what I read is that you think that I look skinny.
Yeah. Oh, I would have to take it like that. Oh my God. Why do people
And I'm
say
like,
this stuff?
I think she looks good. I mean, but whatever. Anyways.
I
don't know why I brought that up, but
No. That's a good thing to say. I don't think if we're even going to tolerate being mean, which I don't tolerate,
you can't win.
At least don't do appearance. Come on. Some people can't change that kind of shit. People will comment on mine being like, you look like a drunk older Craig. You look like you're a hungover, drunk, ugly Craig's brother. And I'm like, oh my God, do you know I'm living here in my body? And I just looked at that and I saw it with my eye. It's so mean. It's like, oh, they can take it. They're millionaires. Like everyone gets offended if you say they look ugly. Remember Carl's teeth?
Yeah.
When he was like,
horrible.
yeah. So come on, don't do that
Yeah.
again. And then Craig goes, I don't watch the show. I don't watch this season, just like Jax. And they're all like, you fucking idiot. They go, that's awful what he does. They go, oh, it's like a treatise on reality programming. They're like, he won't know the truth. He will only be inside his own truth. He goes, I lived what I lived, and I don't need to see another reality. The Shep goes, that's the reality distortion field. This guy's got no fucking clue what reality is. And Charlie goes, I concur with that. He doesn't know what he's doing.
They're really sick of him. Craig's like, I'm looking for peace. I just want peace in my life. And Whitner goes, yelling at people isn't peaceful, Craig.
He's like, look at this guy. He says he wants peace. I'm going to say it now. I already said this take, but I don't care. Whitner is now the new JT, but for Craig. So they fired JT, who was Austin's primary foil, and now Craig's got a little stinker that's waiting in the wings for him to chastise him. Craig didn't do shit to Whitner. He screamed at his literary party, and obviously Whitner can be like, I'm chivalrous and a noble person, and it's galling to see a person act such as this. But still, you're doing the exact fucking shit that JT did, and he goes overboard. Everything Craig says, he's rolling his eyes. He's starting to scream. I'm so fucking sick of it. I like JT more. No one likes JT like me. You didn't even like JT like me. But at least he was also Austin's foil, but he was doing shit too. Mm-hmm. Vanita fell in love with him. He was being silly. He gave Patricia a cane. There was way more JT-centric conflict than there was Whitner conflict. Cane-gate. Whitner only has Craig to talk about so far. They're like, why doesn't anybody like you, Craig or Whitner? And he's like, I don't know. I wish they did, because that would be more interesting. I wouldn't have to talk about Craig the entire time.
JT spun around on the bar stool.
It was so awesome. He goes, I'm going to butt you in the face. He was going, I'm going to spin around and butt you right in the head, Austin. I loved it. JT was so much better than Whitner. I'm going to bop you, baby. I'm going to exercise the fuckboy demons out of you. I loved JT. Whitner is you better do something on your own, Whitner.
Yeah.
You can't just be Craig. Like, come on. Everyone agrees with this. Whitner didn't do shit this season. No offense.
Do you like how Vanita's just like, everyone's like, why don't you guys date? Like, she's always just like in the market for the strays. And she's like, I'm best friends with Whitner's mom. And they're like, yeah, so you should date. And he's like, maybe, I don't know.
She's like, I liked him. He's like, why didn't any... And he's like, what the hell, Whitner? Why didn't anybody like you? And he goes, I don't know. And then Vanita's like, I did. He's like, well, I didn't know that. It's like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, you guys have the opportunity to try to like each other if you want. Oh, and then at one point, Sally is like, they're like, Sally, what about that horrible thing you said about Whitner? About, that we don't know the true him. He goes, that sucked when you said that, Sally. And she goes, I just meant he talked about himself all the time. So she really gave a nice
Right.
Sort of the best case version of what she was really trying to say, because she said entitled prick before on that other podcast. So she tamped that down a little bit.
Yeah, they go, well, Sally, if not Whitner, then what are you looking for? And she goes, everything that this guy has about Austin. And then Craig is like, she told me that she wants Austin's personality on my body. And we were both offended. And everyone gave a big laugh.
Yeah. Excuse me, Frankenstein.
Honestly, I mean, the thing is, it doesn't work that way. Like, you have your personality because of how you look. And Craig has his shitty personality because of how he looks.
Unless you're Dr. Frankenstein, he puts brains in people's bodies. But are you trying to say they should pull a Dr. Frankenstein on those two?
Or,
but I don't.
Or wait for it. Hold on. Or if you're not Dr. Frankenstein and you are Annette Bening, a.k.a. Dr. Cornelia Euphronius.
Oh, and let me guess, Dr. Euphronius was responsible for the abomination of the bride.
Yeah, he was like, I'm lonely, Euphronius, make me a bride. I'm sick of going to the movies alone.
Oh my God. Can we talk about what the fuck is going on with Christian Bale? Every single person in the world said, we are not working with this guy again. Only David O. Russell and Maggie Gyllenhaal will work with him. David O. Russell was like, I like this guy. He screams just as much as me on set. He treats everybody like fucking shit. So that's somebody I can hang with. And everybody else is like, we're never casting Christian Bale in a fucking movie ever again.
Did I tell you that I now have 2 sources, won't say who, that say the guy that Christian Bale yelled at sucks?
I don't know.
Both sources said I would yell at him too.
How bad could a lighting person suck? Whoops. Whoa, sorry.
I think it's a DP.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. I don't know. I've heard that. People have turned the tides. They're like, that guy really was horrible. Like, I just saw a clip justifying Christian Bale, but in my opinion, the power dynamics on set are not to where someone like of Christian Bale's stature should be screaming bloody murder at someone on set.
He's also building like a orphanage, so his PR is about to. He's building like a giant foster care complex outside of LA. Like he's spending like millions and millions.
All right. I take it back. He's good. And also, he was in Ford vs. Ferrari, which is a film my dad loves. And James Mangold will work with people that I don't think he lets people treat people like shit. So maybe
I think he's sort of unimpeachable. Like I was like, he did Amsterdam, he did this, he's done like a lot of shit. But I feel like he's so esteemed that I don't think he'll ever be out, you know?
Edgar Allan Poe detective. My pale blue eyes. I was like, what the fuck is Christian Bale doing? I don't know. I mean, well, okay, let's say it's not about his character and temperament on set and then he treats people like shit. He's having the dog days of the decade.
Right.
I think it's been 10 stinkers back to back, except Ford vs. Ferrari.
We were just before this talking about the new picture of Leo in the Scorsese movie that he's working on and why he looks hot and has a mustache. And at the Oscars, I can't list them all, but like it's partially because he only works with like the best directors, but he's been in the star of like 15 Best Picture nominated movies.
Who?
Like Leo.
Oh, of course. Oh.
Like he only comes out of his hole for something that's going to be like the best movie of the year.
And the stats. Well, I mean, talk about the opposite of pulling a Bale. Leonardo DiCaprio is the most celebrated actor of all time and the best actor we have. And his track record is astonishing. Both James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, what's that other stat? The third person who only got their best pictures by having Leo as their lead. And now Paul Thomas Anderson, because Leo was the lead.
I think
and he's so selfless. He doesn't get shit for himself. He's like, I barely can win an Oscar for acting for myself, but he propels movie to get the best picture noms. So
he propels movie.
He propels movie. And now with the new mustache, what happens at night?
Oh, he can't be stopped.
Jennifer Lawrence, Mads
They're back together again.
Well, they need to redo.
I mean, yeah.
I don't even want to say the movie that they were in before, but whoa, I'm glad they're getting a second chance. So in conclusion, Dr. Euphonius, I believe, would have also been called to do this brain operation. And Madison goes, oh, she raised her eyebrows. She goes, "That would be good. Could you imagine? Because Craig's personality sucks and Austin sucks to look at. So that would be great." Oh, and then, okay, Craig and Charlie have a conversation. I remember. Andy goes, "What the hell happened to you two? I thought sparks were flying." And Craig goes, "It would have if this group didn't get their little claws in it." And then he goes, "I had Sally telling me that Charlie was talking to other guys all season." And I was like, where the hell was this in the edit?
Right.
Like, not only was Sally, talking to Charlie about how shameful her behavior was and how horrible it made her feel, but then also on the other end, she was sort of, in a way, one could argue, was sabotaging by also saying, "Well, hey, Craig, look what she's doing. I also found out that she's talking to a bunch of guys." So
Right.
Craig is saying, like, Sally kind of got in the middle of it, which I think a lot of people might possibly agree with that. And Charlie goes, "I told you, we both signed up for Raya together." And I was like, why was this out of the edit? Like,
Well, he claims, because she goes, "Yeah, like I never said." He claims she promised not to see other guys. She says she never did, but she wasn't really seeing guys. And then she goes, "But remember, I was like, you should sign up for Raya. I'm on Raya." And he goes, "That was way later." Like, he was claiming that was sort of like after they had decided to just be friends or something. But I was just like, I don't really care. He's always very, I always take what he says with a grain of salt. He's very high and mighty. But it basically everyone was looking around the room like, this is too much drama for how short of a relationship it was.
yeah. And I think that I wouldn't have gotten so fooled like I was. I was taken for a fool. I blew it on my prognosticating. I fucking blew it with Charlie and Craig. I said they were going to be married by this time next year. It's like, what? We're not even dating. But if I would have seen, hey, let's go on Raya, sign up at the same time. Also, I'm talking to people. Also, Sally is saying Charlie is talking to people. I wouldn't have been so stuck on them. Like, I would have known that this was going to be going into the flop zone. So I am offended as a Charlie and Craig, someone who loved their relationship. Okay, next up, I don't know how much we have to talk about this one unless you really want to talk about it, but I kind of was like, I can take a break for 5 minutes. It was about the vaginal reconstruction of...
Labia gate.
Labia gate, which kind of made its little appearance in the beginning, 3 or 4 little blips, or no, 2 blips at the start, and I kind of got over it. It was just so Molly and Sally and Vanita had something, but Vanita did a really good job. So she goes, "I relayed that info. I thought I was on a show where we spread gossip, but I didn't realize that some stuff shouldn't be told to people." Sally's like, "I just ran with it. You're going to give me labia gate? Of course I'm going to tell everybody in the world." But Molly goes, "Vanita gave me flowers after flowers and apologized so many times. Vanita really, really tried to make this up to Molly, and I think Molly has since forgiven her, and she even has forgiven Sally. So it's kind of like it's over. Like they all resolved it on their own."
Yeah. She also confirms she has a 56-year-old boyfriend who's a musician, and she performs twice a month at that bar that Austin and Craig either own or have stake in or whatever. And so good to know if we ever end up out there.
Oh, yeah. So one of our Villa Rosa VIPs told us about they had the Charleston Day in heaven where they were sewing down south. And then, by the way, and Molly was serenading them. Do you think Molly's boyfriend is that guy that we saw? The guy that was like, "Hey, sing with me." Do you remember the person who's playing guitar with her? Is it?
I don't think it's that guy.
Oh, okay.
I did a cursory search. She doesn't seem to post him on Instagram, but I think it's someone else. I don't think it's that like very old guy.
Oh, was that guy very old?
I don't think it's that guy.
Okay. All right.
But
all right.
I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments, but I think it's someone else. But I would love to see her sing. Love that she's doing that. We move on. We get the Madison baby update. Sally says she has baby fever. Craig says he's ready. And then we get into this whole thing about Sally and Austin, if they're fucking or not. And they're sort of just being coy. They're saying we have sleepovers, but they won't say to what degree. They say they had a pajama party watching Heated Rivalry. Craig gets a little joke in. He goes, Heated Rivalry is supposed to be our story, which Bravo made a TikTok or a reel of all the things you said running through my head of them together, which I was like, good job.
I said good job too. I said good job.
Mission
Bravo social media.
accomplished.
I go, that's perfect. I go, that is completely syncs up with what is being said. I loved it. And then they go, but it's chaste. We just sat there. We watched this show. One pillow for me, one pillow for Sally, and no touching except the occasional kissing. And Madison, loving Madison this reunion, because I love that she's not being deferential to Austin, like ride or die loyal like she used to be to Craig. Now she's like, you guys think we must be dumb as fucking rocks if you think you're gonna pull one over on us to say you haven't had sex. And the entire time Sally wants to say sex every single 5 seconds. She wants to say, of course we've had sex, but Austin's posture and weird way of going about it makes her never be able to admit it, except well, she almost does, but she just can't say explicitly that they did. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? It's so obvious you guys had sex.
Yeah. Andy's like, who cares? You guys are single. When Audrey comes up, Andy's like, you haven't been with Audrey for like 8 months. Like, who cares? He keeps saying we're not fucking, as if like, not presently, but they won't confirm or deny. And they're like, we've done more than making out. And everyone's just getting really pissed at the semantics. And then we get into this is sort of like sad. Like Austin keeps being like, quit trying to like force my hand to date Sally. I don't want to. And Madison, she's really putting on her producer hat over in the corner. She is a power position as an alpha over Austin. And she's like, he told me that Sally needs to act more like a wife, and maybe he would look at her differently if she wasn't running out on these streets. And he's like, I didn't mean like being a slut out on these streets. I meant just like you go out a lot and you're a bar rat. And I was like, personally, I'm like, I want to start using that phrase. Kind of fun. Bar rat.
Bar rat. Yeah, I like it. And I want to call people it, but I would also, if I was Sally, all of this talk would make me feel sad. I'm just speaking for myself. Sure. Being called a bar rat, running through the streets to no end. The fact that Austin is talking shit about her to Madison behind her back, being like, You should see what the hell she's doing. And she goes, I cook meals at home. You don't see them. And he goes, yeah, right. You're not cooking any meal.
She goes, you don't see me Monday through Friday cooking dinner at my house. And he goes, that is not happening, which I'm sure is true.
Yeah, he's like, you're a goddamn bar rat over there. And he goes, and I will not be bullied. He goes, what are you trying to do, Andy? Bully me into dating Sally? I'll never date her.
You should see her body count. The notches in her bedpost go all the way to heaven. I can't even tell you. And she's like, what the hell? And and Andy's like, she's the catch of a lifetime. You should be so lucky. And Madison agrees. She goes, if he just made her, which it's weird to talk about her like this, like she's not there. She goes, if he made her his girlfriend, she would be the most loyal chick around. And she goes, you're right. She goes, I go above and beyond for my man.
Yeah, she goes, it's right. She goes, that's right. I would do that for you, Austin, if you would just make me your girlfriend, please.
Make me your bride.
Make me your bride. And Andy was rightfully calling out the double standard that Austin has. He can be a little rat running through every bar in town, and he doesn't.
Like, let's talk about your bedpost.
Yeah, your bed. He goes, I could count the notches on your bedpost, buddy, and it would be to the heavens as well.
Yeah, I would say that this is like highly offensive if Sally wasn't such a freak about being like, I'm looking at the guy right next to me for what I want. Like she's always like, I'm getting hard just looking at him. Like she's not your average. If they talked about anyone else this way, I'd be like, what the fuck? But she's like a freak. So I'm like, all bets are off.
Have we ever seen this dynamic before where people are any dynamic where it was like, I want to date this guy next to me, please. Will you please? I want to. I'll do anything. Don't call me horrible names. I want to date you. It's like, what the hell? I'm used to a little more cloak and dagger or being a little more coy. This is like
Cat and mouse.
cat and mouse. This is like, when the hell will you date me and what do I have to do? And please stop talking shit about me. And it makes me sad when you call me and tell me you date other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just not used to this dynamic. It's pretty interesting. So you're right.
Like
it's
we
kind
said,
of a unique scenario.
Right. Like, it's how Jesse Solomon acts, but it's supposedly a joke,
Right.
Um,
Right.
But yeah, this is also, in between breaks, we get Craig talking about his empath spray from a magician in Nashville because he's at risk of giving out too much energy.
Yeah, that's the plot of a movie, this thing. Craig going into a dark tent with a magician and them saying, what do you need, my friend? And he goes, negative. I'm an empath and I don't want my
Nightmare
negative
alley.
energy. Yeah, total nightmare alley. Excuse me, do you have any potions for negative energy? And the magician in Nashville is like, absolutely, I do. And yeah, so he said he is going to give so much energy by breathing it out into the world that he needs some big a stench of something new empath-wise to make sure that it's coating his whole body so that negative energy doesn't come in.
Yeah. He says later, spoiler, he's accused of being a narcissist. And he goes, as an empath, that would simply be impossible. And I'm like, did the magician tell you that?
True. I thought that too. I was like, how long did you spend with this magician in Nashville? Well, since you brought up empath, I do want to say something for Craig. The way to get out of narcissism accusations is not to go fully the other way and say, not only am I not a narcissist, but I'm deeply an empath. It's like, couldn't you be something in between? Because now you're making people see how jarring the disparity is between how you view yourself and how we view you. So I would have never in a million years thought Craig would have defined himself as an empath. We only know one empath in the Bravo universe. That's Kristen Doty.
Yes.
So him calling himself that, I was like, they're laughing at you for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say narcissist. I don't agree with Austin's assessment.
It's thrown around way too much. It's been destroyed, like Gaslight. Even with Sandoval, I'm like, it's. I think we need to start putting more weight on what that really means, and it's become know. I think we all need to get a grip.
Let's wait for the clinical diagnosis on that one and stop labeling that of people. So get ready, because I'm pissed. I get pissed towards the end when they start doing. I'm getting pissed thinking about it now. But first, we get a little respite. Austin cat daddy alert. The biggest cat daddy there ever was.
He says, my kitties are perfect. They're doing great. Sally goes, well, Piper's getting a little fat. And he's like, how dare you? Absolutely not. I like how she threw that in there. Like, I know, because I'm like over there all the time. Like, we're very close.
I've seen the fluctuation in weight from your cat because I go over so often.
Yeah. And so then, also Rodrigo, they make fun of him because I think Andy asked something like, are they helping you with your commitment problems? And they are all like, ha ha, like cats are the easiest critters around. And he goes, yeah, I chose them specifically so that when I travel, I could just leave them at Rod's house. And Craig, I will say, always giving Craig a +1 for also being a former cat daddy. I don't know why he's not now. He should just get a cat. That would be cool as hell. If he wants good PR.
It's too painful for him. Both of his cats were taken from him, right? Weren't they? Weren't they all in relationship cats? And he didn't get to be that. He probably visitations even stopped. So it's too.
Well, then he should get his own that no one can take.
You're right, but maybe it's too painful. But then Austin goes, yeah, enough about my cats. He goes, Craig was great, but he was horrible about Audrey. Can you believe him?
He called her Aubrey.
He called her Aubrey, which is not her name. And he also said, I wasn't happy in my relationship and I was deceiving everyone and I was complacent and I was lashing out or whatever. And Craig's like, you were. I was right. You weren't happy. You broke up with her halfway through the season. It's like, of all things to get mad at for Craig, I mean, not knowing her name is one thing, but he obviously took the temperature right, that Austin was not happy in the relationship and it was causing him to do things that like poke at Craig for the hot tub shit and stuff. So I thought that was an accurate assessment.
Right. Austin did get a win because when they were judging him for having her always come to Charleston, he was like, she had a roommate. She wanted to get the hell out of there. She liked coming to my place. I was like, well, that's a check. But then we get into Madison talking about how she warned Audrey about Sally. And she's like, I just told her to be aware because she might take your man. And look at us now. Which I do think is interesting because I get what he's saying. I appreciate that he's aware of, even though hasn't been with her for 8 months plus, that it would still be offensive for Audrey to see them together because it's like the one he told you not to worry about,
Yeah.
like it's still offensive even if they're not together anymore.
Yes. And Austin concurs. He says, yes, a lot of the reason why I'm getting beat red talking about sex with Sally is because I don't want to do any more hurt to Audrey, who's a person that I really liked/loved. And I'm not really even 100% sure of the reason why we had to cut it off. And then Rod goes, yeah. I thought this was so sad and horrible, hearing Sally talk about how much she wanted him the entire time. There were more instances, apparently, even than what was on camera about her talking about how much she wanted Austin. He was like, tone it down. We get that you want to suck his dick. But he goes, I even had to talk to Audrey about it because we looked complicit in this Sally storm of her trying to take Austin away. And I wanted to ask you, if Austin, who still thinks that Audrey was like great and he likes her and he thinks he hurt her and he ultimately says that she might be the one that got away, do you think that he views Sally differently when he sees the edit of her being like, God damn, I can't wait till Audrey gets the fuck out of here because I love Austin? Like, would that make him be like, you wanted to hurt the person that I still love? Is that like a bad starting point for some relationships, to see how someone acted in the time when you were actually in a relationship? Or is it endearing to be like, damn, you had your sights set on me and you wouldn't let anything in your path and you loved me through it all, even my relationship?
Yeah. I think he just like really has her at arm's length in general. I think he's aware of how she was acting the whole time and is just not that into it, but they obviously find each other very entertaining. But I think he wants a different type of diva for his long-term partner. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure because he really seemed so trying to be respectful to Audrey, even though he didn't treat her respectfully. But it really does seem like he like hurt her. And then Madison clears it up and she goes, she like really liked Audrey, I guess, because she was like, I think that's going to always be the one that got away. For
Which,
Austin.
I don't know that that's true, but he didn't seem that into it. So, and also Andy does a great fake out where he goes, we have a video message from Audrey. She has plenty to say. Let's play it now. And they're all like, and he goes, nah, I'm just kidding. I was going to do let's bring her out, but I've done that so many times to you guys.
This was so funny. I was almost thinking about making it joke of the week. It was funny. It made me laugh. I also was wise to it before he even got it out of his mouth during that pause. I was like, oh, this is a new variation of it. I was really proud of him for switching it up, and it had that impact. I mean, he's never going to stop doing it until the cast members stop grasping their chests and screaming.
Well, he needs to actually do it one time. Because when's the last time he actually brought someone out unexpectedly? Everyone always knows who's there.
You're right.
He needs to do it for real. Then it'll re-up 5 more years of the threat.
If I was workshopping it with Andy, I would say do that 2 more times. Get people to be like groaning, like this will never happen. This joke is so stale. And then the next time you finally do bring someone out, that's going to shock the world. Don't you think?
Totally. Okay, so then basically the rest of it is like the Craig and Austin show. It starts out by their Rufio night fight where he was talking shit about him having girls in the hot tub. And Austin's like, trust me, I have no interest in going in that hot tub. No FOMO. And they talk about how Shep was in the hot tub a lot of the time. And Craig's like, yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. Me and Sally were never in the hot tub alone. So I don't get why people were so shocked that we didn't hook up because there were always other people. And Charlie's like, they're all surprised that we weren't all hooking up, that it wasn't like an orgy or something. Austin's like, yeah, when I made that hot tub joke, I thought it was a gentle ribbing, just a poke. And Craig's like, you keep poking someone until they break. That's called manipulation. I'm bound to blow at some point. He keeps saying, he brings it up like 5 different times where he goes, you keep poking the bear, they're going to scream.
Yeah.
He takes like all the onus off of himself where he's like, you annoy someone enough, they're bound to blow.
Yeah, it's true. But still, hopefully they don't have that reaction. You know what I mean? But I do agree philosophically that if Austin acknowledges it as a poke, like that really was a statement said in out of pure jealousy. I remember it because when we talked about it, he goes, Craig's gonna have another hot tub night with Sally, I bet. It was a jealous, weird remark, and Craig exploded to a degree to which it wasn't warranted, which he always does. But still,
Yeah.
I'm glad that Austin acknowledged that it was a poke, and then you got Whitner yapping his ass off behind Austin being like, no, that's not. That's called an outburst. You're horrible, Craig. Don't get me started over here. I hate what he's doing. And also I liked when Craig said, me and Sally were never in the hot tub alone, because I was misguided by that edit as well. I thought that 4 a.m. we're going to a convenience store. The sun started coming up. The rain was drizzling on our backs. I was like, I thought that you two were alone, but they never were. That wasn't clear in the edit, because I thought that maybe quite possibly Sally and Craig had hooked up at a point. So that was interesting.
Yeah. I know. I feel like they did talk about that Shep was there, but then I thought it was implied that Sally was the last man standing, like she stayed the latest. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So then we get into relitigating the addict conversation. Even Shep is like, Austin, that was a little much. Like, you had plenty to complain about. I don't know if that was the right angle. They bring up, Austin says that he breaks the fourth wall and says that Craig was asking Austin's producers if Austin cried about it. Like, he was really interested in the optics, I guess, of that conversation. Craig says it was because he was very concerned about having revealed that and being that vulnerable. So I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle on that one.
On the fourth wall break.
Well, like, I think, I don't know. It's a tricky topic because, there's no right way to label yourself, or, like, he can do whatever he wants about his relationship with alcohol or whatever. I do think he has used it as a little bit of like a get out of jail free card about like using it as like, the way he talks about that he's therapized, or like that he, talked about being an addict, but now he totally like swapped it. Like, I'm a little bit like, it feels like an obfuscation a little bit of like, I understand what Austin is saying about how he just kind of left that behind, and you're like, okay, so like you don't have a drinking problem anymore. We're just never going to talk about that again. You're not an addict anymore. You don't have an issue. It's a little confusing, but it also does feel a little nitpicky to like hold him to that. So I'm kind of like, I see both sides a little bit.
Yeah, same here. I don't really, I'm just like, I always defend Craig, but I'm like, I don't know. I agree that Austin could bring it up and just be like, what was happening? You called yourself like you have a problem with alcohol, and now you're drunk as hell, and you were the drunkest I've ever seen you in Mexico. It's like, which is it? Maybe that's manipulative, but also I think it just so ties into Austin's constant needling of Craig that I can see how that gets conflated for Craig too. It's like, is that all you have to talk about? And I don't know, Shep being this sort of unbiased observer, being like, Austin, that was horrible what you did. Maybe I have to lean towards Shep on that one, but I agree with you. I don't know. I'm kind of split. And then Andy goes, I've seen acrimony many times in my life, but the acrimony of you, Austin, saying you hate Craig, he goes, I was shocked by that. And he goes, do you hate Craig? And Austin goes, yes, I do. Sometimes. Yes, I hate Craig. And I was like, Craig, all of a sudden, I got that empath spray on me. I was like, that's so harsh, Craig says.
Yeah.
And I do think, I don't know, maybe it's a preschool Sesame Street mentality, but I'm like, hate is such a horrible word. If anybody said they hate me, I'm thinking about that for the rest of my life and thinking about them and how they view me for the rest of my life. It's just so harsh. And Austin goes, and it felt good. He's like, he's Emperor Palpatine all of a sudden. And guess what? It felt good to say I hate you. I wanted you to do something about it. And Craig's like,
Mhm.
what the hell are you talking about? That's insane. It made me do the opposite. I didn't want to be near you ever. It's like, obviously the friendship is over at that point. And I give Austin enough deference. This is weird.
Yeah.
I view this exactly as Craig views this. That is fucked up to say you hate someone.
You can almost see him like double down in real time where
Yeah.
he's like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And then he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I do hate him sometimes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if I could get a rise out of him. And then he does bring up, he's like, well, you also said unforgivable shit to me that night. Like when he was like, your life is a joke. Like you haven't done shit in 5 years. You're nowhere better than you were 5 years ago. Your career's a sham. Like your beer sucks. Like he also said like horrible shit that honestly to me was more cutting than just like, I hate you. You piss me off. Like his was like specific and like insulting. Like
Yeah.
I thought that what he said was even worse because it was like, it was something that is like Austin's worst nightmare in the back of his head, whereas your friend being like, I hate you, like the way they have like this toxic relationship, it's almost just like, okay, you hate me, you love to hate me. Like that doesn't hit me as hard because it's kind of vague, whereas to be like, your life is a joke is like actually so sad.
I mean, I'm sure, Austin, the world loves Austin. I'm probably alone in this, but like I think I would tolerate the kind of like talking shit back and forth if it's retaliatory, rather than knowing that one of my best friends or former best friends used the word hate about me.
Yeah.
I
But do you think that so like sometimes we use the metric of go by what the people in the room are thinking. I agree that like I think Whitner's laying it on a little thick. I think Austin's laying it on a little thick, but every single person in the room, like when Craig talks, they go like, notice how he says but after he apologizes, like they're all like, yeah. They're like this fucking asshole. So I'm like, why does everyone hate him then? If he's not an asshole.
My cardinal rule used against me about Craig, because I do agree with that philosophy almost 100% of the time. I do agree. I agree that there must be things that Craig is doing all of the time that really pisses people off. But then I don't know why the people I love the most, like Lisa Barlow and Craig, I just can't. I think that there has to be a little amendment to be like, unless it's a takedown season, or unless they're the center Charleston flag holder, unless there's some reason why everyone wants a piece. But I agree with you. I agree completely that I have to take into account
like
all of
Molly
these people.
isn't someone that
Yeah.
strikes me as trying to do a takedown.
No,
like
you're
she's
right.
just like eye rolling about it. And then they bring up how Austin's like, everyone here has a traumatizing Craig story. And they're all like, yup. And he goes, not outside of filming. And Sally's like, well, why'd you scream at me in front of my mom off season then? And he's like, I didn't scream. I just made you cry.
Yeah. He goes, I just made you cry in front of your mom. It's completely different, Sally. Yeah, no, it's bad. And I guess, personally, I have a high tolerance for people screaming at me. So for some reason, it's like, I'm just going internally with how my intuition guides me, and for some reason I don't know why, I guess Craig, him screaming like and calling Austin a dickhead when he goes, you dickhead, and everybody's like, oh, you see, Craig reared his head again. He was Craigie and now he's Craig. I'm like, he calling you a dickhead? And I liked him screaming his ass off at the Rufio party, the literary party. I'm like, sometimes I can tolerate it, but obviously no one will defend Sally Busgate making her cry in front of her mom. It's horrible. And so I can only defend to a limit, and I can only defend what I see. And like you said, Whitner playing it up too much, but Shep, I value Shep's interpretation. He was the one who raised his hand fast as hell when they said, who is scared of Craig? And he goes, I am. So I take that all into account. You're completely right. I'm just trying to evaluate him as it goes throughout this reunion. But Craig is so divisive, and I feel like that might be the ultimate sort of Bravo celebrity in a way. Unless you're fully loved or fully hated, these divisive figures, the fact that Craig is divisive might be what makes him compelling. And his Q
Right.
score, I bet, is probably really interesting because look at you and
Mhm.
I, even on Turtle Time, we can't
Yeah.
get our. We can't. Not knowing what Craig will do at any time is what makes him interesting to me.
Sure. Yeah, I just think he's obviously entertaining. I think he's delusional.
Oh yeah.
I do not want to see his chat GPT. We've gotten into the chat GPT of it all, but like that's exactly how he reads, is someone that like is looking for validation and will get it where he can find it and is like happy with it. Like he goes, I'm perfectly imperfect me. If you poke the bear, they're bound to explode. Like he's like, that's just who I am. And it's like he pretends that he's interested in self-reflection and change, but he's not actually. But he's like, that's just who I am and I'm beautiful the way I am. And it's like, okay, self-acceptance is cool, but like
Yeah.
you're not fucking there yet.
Yeah. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. So I don't care if I made Sally cry yesterday to her mom. No, it's true. You're right, and I'm on Craig Island over here. So then, so they acknowledge a part where he did something off camera, and then I think at one point Craig is like, "Hey, I apologize sometimes, for stuff. Like I apologize at the Rufio literary, the literary dinner at Whitner's," and Whitner goes, "Yeah, right. Wild claim, absolutely insane claim, by Craig over there." And he goes, "I did. What are you talking about? They didn't show in the edit, but I apologize." And then they show the apology, and then, which it was true. Andy goes, "They're going to roll it right now. They're going to show Craig apologizing to Austin," and he did.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
Craig goes, "I'm sorry if I did it, but." This, and Whitner goes, "I'm sorry, but strike everything from the record that comes before, but." He's not really sorry. He's like, "Whitner, shut the hell up. What is going on over there in that scene?"
Craig says that too. He goes, "This is your first season. You don't know anything about this world." He's like smoking a cig. He's like, "You don't know what this whole game is about, honey."
Which I don't know. I'm a Craig head. I'm like, you don't know shit, Whitner. Seriously, you don't know. This is
not to jump ahead, but when we talk about Beverly Hills, Erica says the same thing to Amanda this week. She goes, "Honey, if you think anything that's happened to you in the last 6 weeks holds a candle to what we've been through on this show, you better get in that little Fiat and drive away, honey."
Oh, it was so just like this. It's true, yeah. And I swear, Austin said that exact same thing. Put the edit up of him saying that to JT. He goes, "You little shit." He goes, "JT, you little shit. You don't know anything. You think you know stuff about me, but you don't know anything. You're a newbie." So the exact same shit with Whitner. And then Austin goes, "Put me in a pressure cooker long enough and I'm going to explode like a big cake in an oven."
Yeah, and this is where we get the narcissist conversation. He says, "As an empath, it would be impossible for me to be a narcissist." Again, we already said, fuck that conversation. It's stupid. And they break. I think Madison's like, "Can I piss, please?" And they break, and Craig storms off, and they make it sound like he's like, "I don't even know if I'm coming back anymore. This is a Craig takedown." And the producer is like, "Cut the cameras, dead ass." Like they make it more dramatic than it really is.
He goes, "I don't even know if I'm coming back anymore," giving us a little tease. Like, what the hell is Craig gonna do? We already talked about it, but Austin saying textbook narcissist, and that he doesn't think he's empathetic, is really kind of awful if you're someone's friend. And I don't know how Craig could ever be friends with Austin again if he actually thinks that and said that on television about him. I think it's too far. They also gave Whitner way too much credit for that assessment. Like, they were like, "Whitner, how the hell did you hit the nail on the head like that?" Calling someone a narcissist. Horrible. My question for you, if this is not just a takedown and it's because of how everyone feels about Craig, is their ultimate goal to get Craig off this show?
I don't know. I don't think anyone wants that, because what would it be?
That's a great question. What the hell would it be? I don't know. But it does seem like everyone is aligned to not be on Craig's side. I mean, every single thing he says gets rolling eyes, violin playing, scoffs. Like, empath medicine or whatever. It's like everyone is just constantly making fun of him. And I guess, to your point, maybe it's just because he's awful. But what would you do if the most awful cast member is the most entertaining? And what would they do without him if they don't have Craig to poke at for another season? So kind of an interesting conundrum for them. But I want to say this, Craig, do not leave Southern Charm. He might be a person that thinks that he has this post-Bravo life. Remember, he was going to replace Andy at some point. He was telling everybody in that Delaware train that he was going to replace Andy. You're not going to get that spinoff show. There's not going to be a Sewing Down South spinoff. Unfortunately, I think Craig is so entertaining, obviously the most compelling for me on Southern Charm, but he's not going to be a Bravo celebrity that I think has a huge future in reality television or entertainment after this show. So don't leave and think that you're going to get some amazing show after this, because I don't think it would happen.
Don't blow it.
Don't blow it, Craig.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, I think Austin is like too aware of the almost like will they, won't they dynamic, and he keeps playing into it. But then they, I think, both really like, like they loved the heated rivalry jokes. They, I think, they know that that's what people are tuning in for to a degree, almost. It's like too self-aware, but I don't know. We'll see. But good season.
Great season. One more part. I can't wait to talk about it next week. I can't. I'm so sad that Southern Charm is ending. I wish we could have talked about Southern Charm and Summer House, forever. But unfortunately, one door closes, another one opens. But I loved the season, so we'll be done with Southern Charm next week. Amy, I have to ask you, can I take a certified turtle piss break?
Granted.
All right, we'll be right back with more coverage of Beverly Hills. Sit tight. Thank you, Amy, for allowing that certified turtle piss break.
Anytime. Are you excited to go shopping again with the girls of Beverly Hills in Florenzia?
I was thinking of you this episode. I said if Amy liked shopping before on those 4 other episodes, you were going to love this. In Italy, they're shopping their, I'll just say it, they're shopping their asses off in this episode.
Yeah. I will say I'm always a little bit like, they went to all of the, they went to some designers that weren't even Italian. And I'm like, I get if you're a real collector of high fashion items, there are things you can't get in America that you can get there. But it always feels a little bit like, I'm like, that's just like a chain, like you're just going to like a chain in a different city. But I appreciated that Sutton flexed her and Tilly's connection at Dolce & Gabbana, because didn't they go to the special Dolce & Gabbana before? Remember, she was like wearing that crown. They had like the special appointment. Anyways.
Well, I don't remember it. I don't. But I know that she had a connection, like fashion connection. But no, you're probably right. But I didn't remember that. I thought this was the first time.
I also wanted Sutton to like really pop off and buy shit because she didn't have luggage, but I don't think she bought that much.
What about this rule? I'm just going to say it now. I loved hearing this. It's like, if we close down Dolce & Gabbana for you, you better spend more than the average people coming in here would in an entire day. I don't think they met that mark.
Not even close. They didn't. I was like, oh, that's why you shop in Italy. Like, Tilly's total was like $2,000 and she got like 3 or 4 things. I was like, that's not even that bad for what you would expect.
But I bet that they were pissed at Dolce & Gabbana. Like, we shut down our store the entire day for this. All you bought were purple sunglasses and those leopard shoes. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know that rule. I've never had a store shut down for me before like this. Oh my God, though, but the stuff that they were buying was so fun. So it starts out, this episode is called Unmasking the Truth.
Yes.
It has the absolute worst conflict I've ever seen in my life on any franchise, quite possibly the worst. It's Amanda's second biggest flop after the mocktails drama that we suffered through. It's horrible. It's nothing. It's so innocuous and lame that Bose doesn't even remember saying it. But we deal with it for 30 full minutes. I couldn't believe it. That's showing Amanda that she's not ready for prime time, that she's
Yeah.
actually horrible on the show, despite being the main antagonist or whatever. This was a horrible decision on her part to make this a big deal, but I'm just saying high level, what it brought to the forefront to me was how Kyle and Sutton are so fake in their support of Amanda that they're going to the most extremes I've ever seen in my life to try to justify why this is a big deal and why Amanda should fight against this remark. And it made me dislike Kyle for the first time in like years. I was like, Kyle, what the hell is wrong with you?
Right.
Why do you care about this? You can't, this is unjustifiable. But for some reason, Sutton and Kyle have aligned to support Amanda, to get her as a soldier so that they can fight against Dorit. And then Dorit pinpoints it throughout this episode. It's like, this is the most astute read I've ever heard from Dorit in my life. Like, it's exactly what is going on. And I couldn't believe that she was able to analyze the strategy so well as this episode goes on. So kind of an interesting episode just for that.
Right. Yeah. It seems like all of the alliances are sort of all over the place moving forward. It's kind of wild. But yeah, so the remark in question, first of all, I'll say someone pointed out, I couldn't tell from the teaser, but now I see that they were looking at a replica of David, much smaller, in town rather than out in the outskirts where he lives. So they have the cum gutters conversation. I just wanted to get that in one more time.
They didn't know, like me. Remember last week I was going, hey, I don't know what that means, and everyone was like, we all know, everyone knows. And then 9 out of 10 people didn't know. Only
Yeah.
Erica knew. So that was great that you knew, but I had no clue. Cum gutters. I didn't-
Gutters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're walking around, they're by the Ponte Vecchio, there's all of those sort of like Venetian masks, and someone is like, who is it, like Natalie says something about like, look at that Pinocchio mask, who's Pinocchio? And Bose goes, Amanda.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. She goes, who should wear the Pinocchio mask? She goes, I don't know, maybe Amanda. And it's
Pinocchio
really,
is like dropped from the record. No one ever, that was the whole point of the comment, and no one ever says the word Pinocchio ever again.
I think they were going to get slapped with a lawsuit from Pinocchio's.
It's not
from
fair use.
Pinocchio's. Yeah, no, I think it's still very much a copywritten character. They were like, drop the Pinocchio, just call it a mask. They never, but it was clearly Pinocchio. It was
That
so
was the whole joke.
Yeah,
that
it was
she's a
Pinocchio.
liar.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know. I'm so conflicted because like on other franchises, yeah, I think this would be fodder or whatever. But the way it was such a tossed off remark by Bose that she didn't even really think about it too hard, but that Amanda heard it and was like, oh my God, the gall of saying that right next to me. I was just like, I was already bored that it was going to be made a storyline, even though I do, I guess, agree that Bose, the intention of the comment was to be like, who would make the best Pinocchio if we were doing a live rendition of Pinocchio on the streets of Ponte Vecchio? And it's like,
Yeah.
Amanda.
Yeah. So like Amanda confirms while they're out shopping to Natalie. She goes, you heard that, right? And she goes, oh, I think I did, but I think it was just a joke. And Kyle's like, that's not very funny. And then Kyle brings it up to anyone who will listen. She's like, Kathy, did you hear about this? And Kathy's like, huh? And she's like, would you think that was funny? And Kathy's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I think I would have a chuckle. And she goes, you wouldn't think that was funny. You know you wouldn't. And I'm like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah. Kyle versus Natalie, first of all, made me love Natalie this episode because I was just like, I love that Natalie was just like, yeah, it was a joke. Not a big deal at all. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And Kyle's like, you're spinning it like it wasn't a joke. She's like, I'm not spinning anything. I just said what it was and that I don't care at all. Kyle's like, oh, that's so you, Natalie. You suck over there. And then when it comes back to Natalie, it's like, Kyle, you unraveled against Natalie. Like it was really like a cardboard
You
cutout was there.
lie.
You lie. You know what's not going to look good? When the cameras reveal the lie that you said about the Pinocchio comment. I was like, God damn, Kyle, it is not that serious. Really made Kyle look like
she
in a
brought
bad
a
light.
bazooka to a knife fight. Like,
Yeah, and I like Natalie just being like, I don't care about this. You're not going to spin my words. I didn't do anything. I just said I heard it. Like, I don't care, and this sucks. And Kyle is just like, I don't know, tormenting her. So Kyle, not fun for Kyle. She was really... And then you have to wonder why Kyle did this. It's because Kyle and Sutton both want Amanda to fight Dorit. They're like, what are you doing? You should fight her about the Google search, the cult stuff. Now you should fight Bose about this. You need to fight. It's like, why? If someone doesn't want to fight, and Amanda Francis already, in my opinion, sucks. No one can force you to be a better cast member.
Yeah.
And they just need to give up because you are revealing all of your cards by being overly supportive to this person that doesn't really give a shit about any of the stuff that you're trying to start with her. So now they just look like they are trying to manipulate Amanda to fight their battles for them. So Kyle,
I don't even get what the point of like coming for Dorit from that angle is. It's like not very interesting. It's flop. Like, so Sutton gets a comment into Rachel Zoe where she's like your freaking lapdog or whatever. She goes, Rachel's like, oh shit, Dorit's texting me, and Sutton goes, I think her separation anxiety she can relax for a second and be without you. And I'm like, actually, I think it's a bad call to go from that angle because Rachel's not going to have it. She's like fairly protective of Dorit already. Like that alliance is already made. And so I just think it's bad strategery.
Me too. Speaking of bad strategery, when Dorit rightfully assesses that Sutton only roomed with Amanda because she was like, Kyle loves Amanda and there's something weird going on there. I think they're creating a new triad. I need to be part of this because Dorit's never going to love me after our history. So I need to get on the side with Amanda on it immediately. And so that's how you could explain Sutton's actions in regards to Amanda. And for me, the confusing part is that Amanda sucks and you're never going to win with Amanda.
No.
Like, that's a horrible soldier to have on your side. Why haven't they properly evaluated Amanda that she's not bringing anything to the table? Like, Bose, Rachel Zoe, and Dorit versus Kyle Sutton, Amanda, I'm sorry. I love Kyle as much as anybody, but I'm going on the other side. You're creating a weak army over there. It's lame as hell over there. And it's not built on reality. It's not because you love Amanda and you secretly think she's a hidden gem. It's because you want a new person to fight for you against
also,
Dorit.
Every other person hates Amanda too. So
yeah.
It's way too much of an uphill battle. All anyone ever does is talk shit about her. There's this scene where they chat GPT search Amanda and like are talking shit, and then Sutton tries she's like, come on you guys, like I don't like you bashing her business, and then she tries to say that the cult comments and Googling was a low blow, and I'm like, huh? Like, it's just like all very weak and doesn't make sense. Like, it's not authentic, so it just doesn't ring true. Whereas Bose and Erica hating Amanda is very authentic.
Oh, yeah. And, you and I were talking about how Kyle was saddled with shitty Amanda scenes and she was the only scene partner that she could have. And I didn't actually think that Kyle enjoyed Amanda's presence at all.
No,
So
it's
for
weird.
her to fight for her like this and justify
I feel
and
like I'm missing
ignore
something.
Yeah, and ignore all the lame shit. I think the missing piece is what Dorit said, that they think that Amanda is here to stay and they want a new partner in crime to go against Dorit. I feel like Dorit is reading Kyle's true intentions, that Kyle is pissed at Dorit and has a secret Cold War against her and needs more people to fight for her. There's no other way to justify why Kyle keeps being like, Amanda, fight back. It's because she wants it, unless she's just coaching a new cast member. But it seems far beyond that.
Yeah. I'm curious, next week is when we get Dorit versus Erica. And I'm like, that will be a telling element because Erica has no skin in the game. And I feel like she doesn't play those kinds of games, So if she's just pissed at Dorit, she's pissed at Dorit. She's not doing some weird, like, underground, strategic move. So I'm curious. I feel like I need that to like get myself situated.
Erica on that side changes the equation a little bit.
Exactly.
Now I'm like, Erica, Kyle Sutton, and Amanda looking a little better.
Right. But she hates Amanda. So I feel like she's going to be a lone wolf or something, like just doing her truth. Did you like this? They're doing a 10 p.m. Italian dinner classic. Bose comes out in like a string bikini. Everyone else is wearing like, they might be wearing a bathing suit under their dress or whatever, but she just comes out like completely like almost, like in the buff. And she goes, Rachel, where's your bathing suit? She goes, are you okay?
Yeah. She gave her catchphrase immediately. Pool party catchphrase. She goes, are you okay? I'm used to not being okay, but are you okay wearing that? I liked this scene so much that I liked what this scene I thought was going to be so much that I was actually so bummed out when it turned into just this shitty roundtable discussing the Pinocchio comments. I wanted people in that pool
Bikini
with that flamingo
pizza pool party.
Yeah, no, it wasn't because I wanted to see everybody in their bikinis. I just thought that like that's the party I want to have. Pizza, drinks being made, but in that like wonderful inside pool. Like I really thought we would get to have that experience. Like I could have used a little bit of fun, like this kind of fun in this villa. And instead it was like, let's sit outside. Let's sit all across from each other. There's a little bit of pizza. And let's get down to talking about the Google deep dive now, please, Sutton says. Yeah. Sutton, it flopped so hard already that Sutton now needs to bring it up a third time to be like, me and Kyle have really thought about this, and we really thought that we would be mad if that happened to us. And Dorit's like, you're trying to force Amanda to fight something that you think is really bad. And she gets fed up at a certain point. Like she just knows what Kyle and Sutton are up to. And she's even more bummed out because Sutton had tried to do this olive branch at the start of the season. You're like, you held my hand, and then here you are talking shit about me immediately for someone that you don't even like or care about.
Right. It quickly just turns into Amanda coming off annoying and everyone just like railing against her. She's like, let me interject. I have something to say. And she's like, I really resent the idea that being grounded and calm and emotionally regulated is considered to be fake. And I do not feel safe at these dinners. I do not feel safe. And they're all like, oh, they're like punching their fists. They're like, oh, that millennial shit is pissing me off. I'm gonna fucking, oh, hell no. Don't tell me about your emotional safety. I'm gonna fucking rip you a new asshole. They're like, okay, Rachel's like, emotionally safe, in quotes, is a trigger word for all of us. Kyle's like, it's kind of a generational thing. She has young daughters. Like, that's become zeitgeisty to talk in those like therapized terms. She goes, she's much younger than us. And Rachel again goes, 40 isn't 25. Like, this is bullshit. Bose is like, what is this childish bullshit? Rachel's like, are you the strongest, most powerful woman in the room, or are you the weakest victim? They're like, we hate all this fucking shit. Shut the fuck up. You're annoying.
Yes. And it's like funnier now because Kyle has to justify someone using the terms emotionally safe, which she just made fun of Crystal for doing 4 episodes ago. So they're like, damn, oh my God, we bet on such a fucking losing horse over there. Now we're justifying these terms that we think are lame as hell too. Dorit does the best physical comedy I've ever seen with her eyes. When Amanda's talking, she does full Charlie Chaplin googly eyes going all over the place, making fun of how Amanda is talking. It was so funny. It's like, God damn, Dorit, you are one of the best cast members of all time. Like, you do a lot of shit that pisses me off, but you were amazing this episode. And then Dorit, okay, so then they have to talk about mask stuff. And then now that the Dorit part of it is out, we just have to focus on stupid mask gate, which no one really cares about. And Bose is like, what did you say I said? Because I don't remember making this comment. And Amanda's like, Kyle's like, wait, someone remembers it. Amanda, wait, you said it wrong. You need to say it like this. Remember what you said? Natalie, get over here. Remember when you confirmed it?
No one seems to remember it. No one ever says that. It's very straightforward. They go, who should wear the Pinocchio mask? Amanda, implied liar. And they go, there's the mask, and you said it was Amanda. Like, it has no legs because no one even remembers what was said, and it's not that cutting. And she's like, you said the mask was me, as if I'm wearing a mask, as in I'm fake.
Yeah, and Bose is like, I guess that would be the implication of something I said.
She's like, that sounds like some shit I would say, so sure.
Yeah, and again, I already said it, but Kyle talking like this way to Natalie too. She's like, you liar. Who the hell are you coming to this place and then lying like that? The cameras will reveal all. You were singing a different tune on the streets of Florence. And it's like, no, she wasn't. She hated this from the start. She never wanted to be a part of this. Kyle, what the hell is wrong with you? So
I also liked when Bose was like, she's head to head, which I'm like, it is, does take some balls to go head to head with Bose. Like, I would be so scared. She's, as she says, unafraid to be straightforward. And she goes, your life is not pure. There are warts in it. And I was like, not warts.
Yeah. She goes, there are a lot of warts that are popping up on the surface. She goes, we share our warts all together, but you know you've got a bunch of warts. And Dorit's like, do you think you're hypersensitive? Like, you show up and you're very sulky. And Amanda goes, sulky? And she goes, very sulky. You're always like this. And she does an impression. It's funny. It's like, you're even sulking now. And it's like, are you the victim? And Rachel Zoe says something astute. Give Rachel Zoe a lot of credit. She goes, are you the most powerful person on earth? Or are you the biggest victim of all time? We're having a hard time knowing how to deal with you now, which I think everyone roundly says, yes, that's true.
Yeah, they keep saying she's misrepresenting her life, and she's like, my life looks good because it is good. I cultivated it and manifested it to be that way. And they're like, all right, whatever, bitch. Then Rachel goes to look for Dorit. They're a true twosome, I guess, at this point, which I don't love, but like, it feels the power dynamic. Like I said, I think Dorit is so far up Rachel's ass that it's like not enjoyable to watch, even though Rachel likes her and they're bonding about the like bad dad divorce stuff. I just feel like it's not an equal partnership, so I don't like it. Like, it would be more fun if it was like Bose and Rachel, because like they're both like powerhouses, where I feel like Dorit sucks up to both of them as like strong mommies that can like protect her from the others.
Yeah. You could also, I guess, argue, if you wanted to be anti-Dorit for a second, which I don't, that she kind of did her own way of creating, loyal friends by just being the most unabashed, loyal ride or die. We just saw it with Rachel Zoe, and she did it with Bose last season. But I feel like for some reason, Bose now, when she didn't like Kyle last season, I was like, oh, what, Bose, don't let Dorit sully your image of Kyle. Like, learn about her on your own. But then now I'm like, if you're Bose and you're on Dorit's side and you just saw Kyle be pro Amanda and treat Natalie like shit, you'd probably be like, oh, damn, Dorit was right. Like, Kyle just actually did a favor to Dorit by kind of showing her true colors in a way. So I almost think that the alliance is, if you're comparing it to what they're doing with Amanda, I actually appreciate Dorit and Rachel Zoe and Bose's alliance more, because even though she's kissing ass, at least it seems like they genuinely like each other at this point, whereas with Amanda, they don't.
Right. Well, yeah, it just feels like a really poor bet to defend Amanda when obviously this is only going one way, which is the episode ends with Bose going, this might be a little bold, but I'm going to say it. Amanda is selling a lifestyle, selling a mindset. She's built a cult. She escaped a cult and has built her own. And so it's like, yeah, she's not going to fucking rest until this bitch is like in the dirt. Like, nice trying to make Amanda's Housewife premiere season easier. It's over for her. Like, the power players are taking her down. Erica hates her guts. Bose hates her guts. Rachel hates her guts. It's not happening.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I mean, it's great from an entertainment standpoint, obviously, that we have this coming up for us with Amanda. I just wish that the villain of the season, that we were all, fighting against, was just more compelling on her own and didn't need Kyle and Sutton to prop her up. Like, the two things that she has brought up that have that she's been upset by have been the lamest drama in the world. Yeah. So if we have Amanda set up to be the villain of all villains and she's going to continue on this show, she needs to really work on what she brings to the forefront. And I don't even think that she needs to be emotionally reactive all the time, because not everybody has to do that to be compelling, but at least pick and choose what you're going to bother us with. And she has not done that. So
Right.
I'm still completely divided on whether Amanda is great TV or horrible TV, but good for the show regardless.
Right. Yeah. So next week we get more Bose versus Amanda. We get the Dorit Kyle Erica fight where Erica's like, they're fighting and Dorit's like, well, I'm leaving. Who's coming with me? And Erica's like, I'm not going fucking anywhere with you. And then Kyle snaps at Dorit and is like, quit riding my ass all the time.
Yeah, just quit riding my ass. It's like, damn. It's like, holy shit. So I want to ask you, as a Beverly Hills, we both are, but you are a huge fan of this franchise, obviously, and you know Kyle well. And I was telling you, I've since been so, I've loved Kyle ever since we've been recapping Turtle Time. This is the first time where I'm kind of like, Kyle, this sucks. What the hell are you doing? What is the rationale for why Kyle wants to wage a Cold War against Dorit? What is pissing her off so much about Dorit behind the scenes that she wants to go to this length to try to,
Right.
have conflict with her?
Yeah. I don't know if it's like because she feels that she's been villainized by her, that she's like, the audience must know the truth, that like Dorit sucks. Like she shared my texts. She's making me sound like an asshole all the time. She's, says I'm defending PK, that I'm, a shitty friend, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if she's just grasping at straws to make her case that Dorit sucks too. But yeah, it's so tiresome. But I don't know what's at the core of it, really.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually prefer, now that we have sensed this Cold War, that I want Kyle and Dorit to have that confrontation. I know we've seen it so many times before, but I really need Kyle to reveal why she is secretly doing these things to try to create Dorit's fall.
Right.
Because I've lost. Besides PK, where it's like, you disparaged PK and I love him and he's Mauricio and I's friend, and I hated how you talked about him. I'm kind of grasping at straws to figure out why Kyle hates Dorit at this point. And I kind of get why Dorit dislikes Kyle, especially if you got this shit to point to. So
Right.
Interesting. Maybe it'll make their conflict, their head-to-head at the reunion, more interesting if we're actually more engaged with what's going on. But I think that this looks great. The coming up next week.
Grape stomping.
Grape stomping. I hope they don't do what that YouTube video from 2005. Remember that grape stomping YouTube? I won't even talk about it. It's horrible. But this was good. I thought this was psychologically interesting for me, and got to talk about strategy for a while. Maybe not very entertaining. I still wish they would have had a pizza party in the pool instead of doing this kind of stuff.
Unfortunate that Amanda needs gluten-free pizza. That would be sad in Italy, but they made it happen for her.
She goes, I'm waiting. She goes, God, this pizza looks great. Where the fuck is the gluten-free? I'm waiting. She seems so rude to like staff and stuff. Yeah, she's horrible. I don't. Where are these Amanda stands coming from? Okay, that concludes the Turtle Time official mission, which is to recap shows, 2 of them, and do news. Which I don't know if we did any news. I don't even remember. I don't think there wasn't that much news. But anyway, I think we've accomplished our mission. We want to say goodbye now. If you love Turtle Time and you need more of it in your life, you have some money to spend, there is this Patreon that Amy and I have where we are churning out so much content. You have no clue. Hundreds of Vanderpump Rules recap episodes. If you subscribe to one of the tiers, a movie, Villa Rosa Film Society on a different tier. We're gearing up to, I think, last time I checked, Sex in the City pulled this. This was like Ford versus Ferrari, when the Ford is so far ahead of the Ferraris that it's going to look kind of bad for all the other American car companies. And so they need to have 3 of them win at the same time. That's one of the worst analogies, but I think Sex in the City to put a little...
Did you just watch that again or something?
Yeah, I did. It pulled ahead with only 3%. So Sex and the City
Wow.
won. We're recapping. Zodiac was. I'm going to be honest. My MO is just to sit back and let Amy tell me everything about Sex and the City. I'm going to ask questions. I've only seen it once. So
With me.
I can't. With you. So I only can't wait to. I cannot wait to talk about Sex and the City. I think I feel like it's going to be wonderful. So that's going to be the April
Gird your
episode.
loins. I'm gonna have to really get organized
No.
so that it's not too long.
Oh no, I'm ready for whatever the hell you want to do, and I'm going to ask every question that I have as I watch it because I don't know this. I haven't even seen all of Sex and the City, so I can't wait. So that's coming up in April. Spend $10 with us, get access to that and all of our other Villa Rosa Film Society selections, and then if you want a free way to support Turtle Time, this is huge. Not everybody can spend money. But we are so thankful for our Villa Rosa VIPs that do. But if you want a free way to support Turtle Time, tell a friend. Reviews on podcast places like Pocket Cast, Spotify. What else can people do?
Yeah, comment, YouTube, TikTok. Follow us on all those places. We need a boost over there. Make us look legit.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram, people are starting to come to us. They're like, whoa, this is cool. What the hell are these two talking about?
Tweet at
So-
Andy. Tell him to make us bartenders. That's our goal. 2026. I'm saying it again. Out loud. Manifest. Amanda Francis.
Oh, shit. We should take one quick Amanda Francis course on just how to manifest being Watch What Happens Live.
It's only like
bartenders.
$3,000.
$3,000? That's a shit. Maybe if we advertised it and we completely changed our tune about her and we were just like, this is awesome. Oh my God, can you believe it? Anyway, do all that free stuff. Please do all that free stuff or pay. And Villa Rosa VIP, special shout out to all of you. We love you so much. Please comment like crazy. We read every single comment on Patreon. We love you. Amy, what do you say we get the hell out
Let's
of this
shove off.
podcast? Let's shove the hell off. Goodbye. We'll see you next week, right?